Grab a six pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dashers podcast. Grab a six pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dashers podcast. Grab a six pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dashers podcast. Grab a six pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dashers podcast. Sit back in the back of the back of the grab a six pack, sit back in the back of the back of the grab a six pack, sit back in the back of the back of the grab a six pack, sit back in the back of the back of the grab a six pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dashers podcast.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 227 of the Drunk Dashers podcast. I had to go look it up. I forgot what this podcast we're on. I'm your host, as always. I'm Tyler, and joining me, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself. We have Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Tyler. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Just been busy throughout the week. Not with just the work, but with other types of errands and stuff. But in the meantime, I have been able to just start up on, like, new game. Well, at least one new game.
Nice.
So how about yourself?
I'm doing all right. It is day 3 of my 5-day vacation.
There you go.
That's good / bad, because it means we're past the halfway point of my vacation, and not gonna have another one for a very long time. No, I'm doing all right though. It's kind of with you. It's been a crazy past 10 days or so for video game releases. Just trying to keep up really at this point with all of them. But doing okay. Spent a lot of time gaming this week. Justin, unfortunately, is not here this week. Has some stuff come up, so he's not going to be able to be here. But hopefully next week. But he was nice enough to stop by and drop off 2 6-packs of beer for me. 1 6-pack of Oktoberfest Samuel Adams, another 6-pack of Samuel Adams Cherry Wheat. So I greatly appreciate that. Cheers, buddy.
There you go.
He's probably listening right now. Not now, but future now. I do want to mention right off the top, though. I always forget to mention this every week. I make a mental note, and then 4 beers in, I forget about it. So the thing I'm trying to do now in the future is release. We talked about it back in January or something like that, about re-releasing the original Drunk Dashers podcast episodes that were lost to the Ethernet somewhere. I think there were 61 or 62 of them. 25 is releasing this Thursday. A new thing I'm trying to do is release a new podcast, one of the old ones, every Thursday. You didn't get one this past Thursday because we went, as I explained in the podcast, if you weren't listening, we went over our limit for the month for how much storage we have, because I messed up and I forgot to click certain buttons and release too many of the old podcasts, so it kind of took a bunch of our space. So you didn't get one. Well, you got a podcast on Thursday, but it was the other half of last week's podcast. So just look out every Thursday morning, usually between 5 and 6 a.m. Central Time. The new show goes up on iTunes and YouTube. So if you want to hear what we were doing back in the day, when we were drunker and less coordinated, then check those out. I listen to bits and pieces of them before I post them. They're fun to listen to. But anyways, that's a side note. This is a video game podcast where we talk about video games, and we're gonna do that now. We're actually gonna jump into what we've been playing first. We've been usually doing news lately, but we're into the season of games coming out, not so much news.
Yes.
So I think it's better we start off with the games. Is it okay if I go first?
Yeah, go ahead, Tyler.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna take a drink of my beer real quick here, though. Oh man, nothing will enter my body except for Oktoberfest till Thanksgiving.
And then it's pumpkin vanilla spice lattes.
Don't you ever fucking say that again, Gables. Nothing pumpkin will touch these lips, okay? Ever.
Except for that off chance when you're drunk enough and all of a sudden you go to that random Starbucks and order yourself a pumpkin frappuccino. And there it goes.
If I'm drunk at a Starbucks, that's a cry for help, okay? That's when you know. I don't want at Starbucks when I'm really cranky and tired. So, but I guess maybe I could be drunk then, actually. I don't know. Actually, you make a good point. Touche. You got me there, Gables. You checkmated me. But anyways, I just want to go over real quick. I finished up the Madden 18 long shot story mode. I was actually
Yeah.
I had like 10 minutes left in the story. I didn't. Yeah, I was literally in the last section. Really good. I talked about a lot last week. My opinion stays the same that I think it would be great if EA released this for like $20, like digitally or something. It's a little under 4 hours, I think. I didn't really time it, but that seems about right, 3 or 4. But I think it's a really cool story, and I think it'd be a good way to get more people to check it out is if you release it separately. Because I think a lot of people might not actually know there's a story mode in this game.
So basically, how it just explain to me a little bit how it's structured here. So you're just like a new player. Basically, you come up from the college ranks, go to the pros. Do you get like a manipulation of a choice where you go, or like basically what does it curtail?
No, actually, you do. It ends with you being with draft day. I don't want to spoil whether or not you get drafted or not. What the story is. So you actually you never play in the NFL. It's a story about this guy. He's considered one of the greatest quarterbacks in Texas high school football history. Goes to the University of Texas, and his father dies in a car accident. So he quits like 4 games into the season, and he goes does a couple tours for the Army. And then he finds his passion. They explain why all of a sudden he gets his passion back for football. And he wants to go back. And he tries to. It starts with him going to the NFL Combine, and then he gets brought up. These producers going to him about doing a reality show called Long Shot, and he does a show called Long Shot, basically where he it's a TV series. It's live. It's really weird and dumb and stuff, but basically it's just the story of him, and he works with a coach. It's basically a redemption story for him and the coach that's training you along. It's basically you learning signals, and you do like little practices here and there, and it's basically just it's super easy. I think 100%ed everything, except for one thing at the end which kind of upset me, where it's like you can pick to either do like this one thing they keep bringing back up again in the story, or you can make the smart play that would like one will make your friend happy, and the other one will make all the scouts happy. And I picked make the friend happy, which hurt that destroyed my grades with the scouts. The scouts like huge, like more than any other thing I did in the entire story. But other than that, it's great. And it's just you're in this TV series, and you're just trying to prove to scouts that you're still. I mean, you haven't played football in 3 years, so you gotta prove to them that you can be a great football player in the NFL. So, and it ends with you do like a live game against like veterans. They're like veteran free agents that are trying to get back in the NFL and show they can do it too. They can still play.
Right.
So, but it's really good. I think you barely play any football. It's more like a Telltale-ish where you kind of like pop button prompts come up, and you get to pick what you say, and then like there's little quizzes you can do where like you do like play calling. You got to memorize the play, which is actually really fun.
Yeah.
To do. Like I love football, and I talk to friends that played football, and they're way smarter than me about like the play calling means, but it's kind of cool. Like I think I learned a lot, just like route trees and like how like when you play call, it's just like 25 words of a jumbled mess to me, and it's actually kind of cool learning. Like they explain what those words mean, so that was kind of cool for a hardcore football fan. It's excellent. It's if you're looking to you want to. The only thing that sucks is there's nothing you can do after you get the story's over. I was hoping maybe you can keep going with them and keep playing and maybe once you join the NFL, you can continue on his story. Not really have a story mode, but you can continue on playing as him, and you can't, which is the only downside to me. After that, as a football fan, as a Madden fan, but the rest of it's fun. I think it's great. It's a good. I hope they keep doing this. I don't know how it's a first great showing, and they put a pretty high bar up on their first showing. So,
well, it definitely sounds like it.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, like I said last week, if you can find it, I'm sure during around Thanksgiving, Black Friday sale, you'll probably find this game for $30. I think that might be about the limit, I'd say, to at least check it out, or if you can Redbox it, you can knock it out in the evening. And I just think I want more people to check this out, and hope they keep doing stuff like this. But other than that, I talked about last week as well, Uncharted Lost Legacy. I finished that one up as well. Sunday was like a weird like gaming marathon day for me. I don't typically do that as much anymore. Where I play for like all day. Like normally I'll play like an hour or 2 chunks, and that's about it.
Yeah.
I played like 4 hours of Uncharted: The Lost Legacy on Sunday, and I finished up the campaign. It's about 5.5 hours, I think was what my game clock said when it was done. But it's only 9 chapters, so pretty short, about maybe half to a third longer or shorter than more 2/3 shorter than a typical Uncharted game. About the same length actually as Uncharted 1. I think I'd actually place this one higher than Uncharted 1 as well, just based off the gameplay alone is way better. Uncharted 1 was fun, but it was a little clunky and they're still figuring out the mechanics. But the second half of it. When we talked last week, I was on chapter 4 or 5, and I knocked out the rest of them after that. I would say the first 4 chapters is a little slow, fun but slow. There's a lot of development with the characters and learning the backstory and then the story of what you're trying to the treasure you're trying to retrieve, and it picks up after that, and it's got all the big set pieces and really great moments that you expect from an Uncharted game. Definitely from a story standpoint, it's lacking. Chloe's great. I think she was actually really funny, and it's actually really cool. I don't want to spoil it. Surprise though, a certain character pops up in the last couple hours of the game and joins the ladies in the game, and that was a really cool, pleasant surprise, and definitely added to the story and the comedy of the Uncharted game. But yeah, no, that second half is just awesome. I couldn't put the game down, and I couldn't. Like I said, I finished it. I finished up that last section, last half of the game in one sitting. It was great. Like I said, don't go into this with like expecting a true Uncharted game. This was an expansion. It just got a little bigger than they expected. But yeah, it's excellent. I think. For $40, people should be picking this up. I hope they continue to actually. I don't know if I want a yearly thing of this, but if we can get like every 2 years, do like a little small Uncharted game like this to continue on the story without Nathan Drake, I'd be totally on board for that. Continuing on the games, because I don't want Nathan Drake to come back.
Awesome.
Yeah, and last up, actually a few things real quick. I Life is Strange Before the Storm episode 1 came out. I started that. I haven't finished it. I'll talk about it next week. And then also I picked up Everybody's Golf. Have yet to actually get into it. So those 2 I'll talk about next week. But the last game I've been playing, the one I've been playing most of the week, I have not been able to stop playing this game since I got it on Wednesday. Mario+Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Tell me about this.
Yeah, so it's awesome. It's so good, man. It really is. I kind of like the rabbits now.
Well, what kind of sparked your interest in wanting to just nonstop play this game?
I like the XCOM style of shooter, like that strategy, RPG, the turn-based. I'm losing the words here, but you can move around like XCOM. And
strategy turn-based
game. Thank you. So I like that style of game. I liked XCOM. It was just that game was a little too deep for me. Too much going on outside. Like I enjoyed the actual core parts of the game, but it was outside of the game. I didn't like there was so many things, like little tiny things you had to do that made huge changes to your story mode, and it can affect your entire game. It was a little too inside baseball for me. And this one is kind of like, I don't know. It's like what Pokemon is to RPGs, where it's on the outside, it's pretty basic. Like I played, like we were like really good at Pokemon when we were like 6 or 7, and I feel like this is that way. Like obviously Pokemon's way deeper. When there's so many more things you can do with it. But if you just like, for me, I can jump back into a Pokemon game, literally 20 years later, like I did with Pokemon X, and pick up and figure out immediately what I need to do. without.
Yep.
And I didn't get deep in anything. I just played the damn story and that was it. I got in and got out. And that I feel like is the same thing where it's a pretty simple strategy RPG game, turn-based RPG. But what really sinking me in is the not so much the story's whatever. It's kind of goofy. Like the rabbits, like they go through time and like a washing machine. I don't know if there's a story behind that, but they have a time traveling washing machine, and they steal this guy. They steal this kid who's like super smart, like VR looking headset that can like basically whatever they imagine can make it come true, and they somehow warp into the Mushroom Kingdom, and this one rabbit has the visor and it's like stuck to his head, and Spawny is what they call him, and he's like done all kinds of crazy shit to the Mushroom Kingdom, where like you're in the desert, but it's like frozen now, and then you're like the go like you go like one of them. I don't want to spoil too much, but like I'm on like world 3. I'm 3-7 I think. Each chapter has like 9 different like levels to it, I guess, if you want to call them that. Or each world has 9. There's 4 worlds, 9 chapters to each section, and then once you beat the section, you can go back through and there's like extra challenges you can do, and there's a secret chapter that you can, if you find the way to it, you can do as well. But I'm on I think I'm on 3-7 or 3-8 now, so I'm fairly close to the end. But I think I just like it so much because like it's fairly simple. It's easy to jump in, jump out. There's not all the crazy shit outside of the main game. Like you just the battles are fun, but they're difficult too. Like I've restarted some battles before. Like I've never been in danger of losing a battle, but there's like things you can do to get like perfect, and the more perfect scores you get, the more gold you get, and the more orbs you get. They use like you have huge skill trees. Each character does, and you get more orbs and everything if you go through a whole chapter without like losing any characters and beating that match in a certain amount of turns. And each chapter has 1 to 3 battles in it. But the actual combat itself, like you got 3 characters. Mario is always in it. You can't take him out. Then you have to have 1 rabbit and 1 Mario character. I don't know why, but you can't have all Mario or 2 rabbits and Mario. So you have to pick and choose. So, but each of them actually I think are really good. They all have like special skills they do. Like Luigi is like a sharpshooter, like a sniper. And he actually has a Luigi Mansion vacuum as a sniper rifle, which is I think awesome. And then but so the cool thing is like the teamwork they have with it. I think the teamwork in this is more so than in like an XCOM, where like you can actually like, so in your area you can move, like you can actually like dash and do like a baseball slide into somebody, and then like one of them one of the skill trees I've souped up for Mario is like his dash is like super powerful, and then he can do a team jump where you can like I'll dash into somebody and then I'll run to one of my characters, jump off of him, and then I'll do like a stomp onto another enemy, so you can like combo up and then you can shoot somebody. So I love the fact that you can like the way I love like looking into it and like figuring out, okay, how can I do the most damage in one turn, and figuring it out and like nailing all these combos together and taking out like a huge chunk of the board before the enemy even gets to go is great. Feels great. It's definitely backfired a few times. Like I play a little more of an aggressive style, and I'm like, well, shit, like that first turn turned out badly. Restart, or my character died, so I'll restart. Like I'm trying to like get perfect in all of these. I think I got them all but one. I need to go back and do that one. But yeah, it's just doing all the combos and everything. It's just it's great. It's simplistic. I love this style of play, and I hope they keep making more of these. I love this become a new franchise. But yeah, like I like the Rabbids now because like they're actually kind of funny. Like they made me chuckle a few times, which I didn't see coming. Like there's one section like you can like when you're walking through like, so the in between parts. I should explain real quick. Like there's like minor puzzle solving and finding secrets and like finding chests throughout the world that you're in. and you'll find like little things you can click on, and like you have like a little Roomba thing called Beepo that's like trying to help you like get Spawny back, who's creating all this shit, and get him to fix everything, and he'll interact with things. And there's that one point where they make a Bob Dylan reference, like there's a Blown in the Wind reference, which I thought was fucking awesome. I did not see that. Never thought I'd see that coming from a Mario game before or ever. But yeah, there's a few moments and like just things like there's the Rabid Peach who constantly takes selfies, like randomly will just like you're in like a really crazy battle and like she'll stop and take a selfie. It's just, I don't know. There's a few of it. It's more like you gotta see it, but there's some funny moments to that game. So yeah, it's great. I love it. I have a couple complaints, but they're super minor. Like I just don't like the fact. So when you're going through the world, you have like your 3 characters, and then there's a Roomba that the characters are following. You're actually controlling the Roomba. He interacts with everything, which is really throws me off a lot when you're trying to solve puzzles a lot, or doing time-based puzzles even, because I'm constantly thinking I'm Mario, who's up front, who's behind the Roomba thing, Beepo, the Roomba thing, and yeah, it's annoying. I go to like click on him, I'll go up there with Mario, and like it won't do anything. What the fuck? And then I'm like, oh shit, I gotta do the Roomba thing. He's gotta do the interact. Or I'll push the block the wrong way because I got Roomba on the side and I got Mario in front of where I want him to be. Minor complaints, but that's really the biggest one I have. Is just the in between stuff with having the Roomba being the guy that leads. It just throws me off in a Mario game. But that's actually pretty much what I've been playing. I hope this game sells well. It's getting really good reviews, which blew me away. Not so much getting good reviews, but the level of scores they're at. I'm seeing a lot of the mid 8s to low 9s, so that's pretty good. A lot better than I thought this game would do. So yeah, Gables, go ahead and tell us what you've been playing, buddy.
Okay. So, 2 things here. One, I did finish up Mario Tennis for the Game Boy Color, which I didn't actually think that I would be finishing it so quickly. But in the meantime, right there, I spent like about 5 hours. I had the option of either going back and doing the doubles portion of Mario Tennis, but to be perfectly honest with you, it was really basic in terms of the whole gameplay experience. I mean, there was some great tennis matches and some great like plays and stuff that I could make, and it was actually pretty fun, more or less considering how much content you can actually go through and go back to. But overall, I had some fun going through the different brackets of each tournament, trying to earn my way to different types of the tops of certain positioning wise. Like say I want to do like a juniors division or like a varsity division or something like that. Then the top division is sort of like the ones you can travel to, like, other places and to participate with this big old world, kind of like a big old regional tournament and stuff where you get to face off against, like, different computer characters and stuff like that. But for Mario Tennis for the Game Boy Color, once you do get to the top stuff of the top portion of, like, the highest where you can go, pretty much the game ends after you go through and beat the finals for the singles and stuff. But it gives you little World Invitational stuff where you can go ahead and play against Mario in the single player mode. So it was funny because I finished the main mode. Oh, okay. And it basically did the same cue like you would with Mario Golf, where in Mario Golf it's sort of a similar structure where you have a, like for Mario Golf you have like a golf RPG, right? Where basically you play certain games of golf and stuff and level up your character through other types of training. Mario Tennis for the Game Boy Color is pretty much the same thing. It's sort of like just 2 different sports. You have one golf RPG and then you have a tennis RPG, pretty much. So for the end, after you finish the main campaign, pretty much, you go forward that you can play Mario. So I had leveled up my character to such an extent where my character was super speedy and that he could pretty much precisely put the ball anywhere. I didn't even have to maximize like power swings or power servings or something like that. I just decided to focus on a character structure where I could level up his speed to maximum and then do the precision hitting up pretty close to the maximum as well. I think 12, 13 or something that I had it on. Now, give or take, with the character builds, you can either go that route or the power route with like the serves and like the power hits and stuff to try to get like serving aces and all that other jazz. Yeah, I ended up beating Mario pretty easily, to be perfectly honest with you. The only thing that really like weighed down the experience, one, it was incredibly short. I didn't really enjoy it in some ways more so than, say, Mario Golf in the Game Boy Color. Another thing is because of the amount of sets I had to do for some of the parts of the tournament, it just felt like it was just extra padding, because there were some tennis matches where I can do like a set of one, which basically what in tennis, you have 6 games you can play, right? The best of that 6 wins the set. So there were some times I would play games like with one set, and then there would be some tournament games where I can go like the best of 3 sets, and then like the last bit of tournament was like the best of 6 sets. What that means is there is an awful lot of padding for these sets, to be perfectly honest. Because the last portion of the game, I actually won a set of 6. Actually, what was it? Best of set of 6? No, I think I just got that wrong right here. There were actually like 3 sets, I think. But regardless, I just felt like there were some bits of extra padding in terms where it was quite obvious that they were just trying to alleviate some of the content stuff because of the limitations of the Game Boy Color, and in terms try to expand how much you can actually play in that particular time frame. But other than that, it was a pretty solid experience. If anybody who's a fan of Mario Tennis, I would probably recommend you give us a try. It definitely was a fun experience, to say the least. It was like, what, $6 or something like that? Like I previously said on a previous podcast, I kind of missed out on playing this game originally when it was on the Game Boy Color. But instead I went with another game, which I think I ended up enjoying that one a little bit more, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, that was one game that I went through and played for the week. The other, I decided to go back in time when I was still playing my DS. So later on this year marks a significant milestone. It has been 10 years almost since I did a complete playthrough of Pokemon Diamond. Now, Pokemon Diamond was the generation that I started really trying to get into like competitive battling for Pokemon, because of the whole online stuff and the whole various myths of sets and stuff like that, move sets for different creatures. So even though I know that the Pokemon Gold Silver remakes are going to be releasing later on this month, for some odd reason I've had a hankering to go back and play through Pokemon Diamond. Now, doing that, I had to erase my previous save. And let me tell you something. That save was almost 10 years old, and I had chalked up like about 251 hours on that thing.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Well, let's put things into perspective. I was working maybe part-time, and I was doing college classes, and that gave me a lot of free time to go through, since that was my crux of my most time that I could spend playing games, was during my college years. So spending about 251 hours like with just that one game was definitely something that I didn't think I was going to be doing, because up until that point I really didn't spend all that much time with Pokemon games. Maybe like 25 to maybe 90 max. Nothing like really outrageous, but that was the first game that made me go through and just go through deep, because I started discovering things like effort value training and like all this other stuff, try to get different moves for my creatures to make the best type of competitive stuff. I have some great memories playing this game over Pokemon, like say the Nintendo Wi-Fi service. I also had some lucks with some trades, but I immediately discovered, because of the first Pokemon game that really did online trading and stuff. Going to the GTS, the Global Trading Station, how many lopsided trades would be uploaded onto there. Plus, there were people that tried to manipulate certain Pokemon that try to steal others, Pokemon Online. But what's funny about that is how Nintendo were to prevent that and stuff. They would actually show the creature that looked like it was manipulated and stuff, and they wouldn't actually allow certain like trades to go through. But anyway, back to the thing at hand. The reasoning why I decided to go back and restart Pokemon Diamond was I really didn't feel like I played through that game initially the way I wanted to play it. As crazy as it sounds, even though I spent over 250 hours playing it when it first launched, I did not get the best out of that game like I wanted. So, in sort of trying to remedy that, I've went through and I've decided what type of creatures I want to catch. It's basically similar to how I played through the re-release of Pokemon Blue last year. I'm basically choosing the creatures that I want, and I'm just going to go through this game. So I picked up my starter, which is a Chimchar. This little fire monkey that basically is the only fire type inside Pokemon Diamond and Pearl that you can get during the main game. That's something that some people have forgot or never even knew because they've never played through maybe Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. Maybe they played a later game in the series. But anyway, the reason why I chose Chimchar and stuff is like what I just previously stated. Inside the main line, not the main story of Pokemon Diamond, you only had access to a specific number of fire-type Pokemon. So some of them would not become available until after you have beaten the game. So the only possible way you can earn a legitimate fire-type during Generation 4 for Diamond and Pearl, not Platinum, because Platinum added a few more upon that release, was Chimchar, the starter. So the good thing about it is I basically know what type of a Pokemon that I wanted to start with and do this and do that. So it's going to be a fun couple of weeks up until Gold and Silver's release, until I probably get tired or bored or whatever. So I'm making a goal for myself right now that I want to try to finish Pokemon Diamond before the release of Gold and Silver on the Virtual Console. And did you have something to say?
Oh, no, I was saying you got 3 weeks. Hurry up, buddy. I don't know if you can fit in there 250 odd hours into that.
Oh my god, I don't think I could spend another 250 hours inside that game. Not with... Dude, I would risk burning out myself before Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon came out.
Oh yeah, that's right. That comes out
legitimately.
in November.
Dude, I've already played through Pokemon Yellow, and that spent at least close to around 30 hours, and now I'm going through Pokemon Diamond 10 years later after its release, then possibly doing the Gold Silver. It's definitely going to be a interesting month and a half in terms of gameplay.
Yeah.
Because that's just a thing. It's like, I'm in the mood right now where I don't want to play too many games on my PS4 because there isn't the type of content I immediately want to go through and just say, oh, I gotta play through this. So, I've gone back to my 3DS. I've popped in a random DS game that I played back in the day, and now I'm starting to enjoy it.
Nice. Well, if you have fun, that's all that matters, man.
Oh, that was definitely the point, man. It's like, my gaming cravings are all in moods and stuff.
Gables, Gables, are you pregnant?
No.
Okay. Do you need to go to Denny's and get you a triple bacon cheeseburger or something?
Oh my god, that does sound pretty tempting. But no, I don't.
You want to go to Denny's after the podcast?
No.
Okay, well, damn.
Oh my god. Traveling through the internet just to go to a Denny's. Yeah, that sounds really appealing.
Financially, it would not be appealing, but overall, it sounds fun.
Okay, so yeah, pretty much that's what I've been playing for the most part. I look forward to what lies ahead for my Pokemon Diamond playthrough.
That's cool, though, man. I was just thinking about that. It's true, you played Pokemon Yellow, now Diamond.
Yep.
You finished last year Sun and Moon, and now we got Ultra Sun and Moon coming out here in 2 months. So
I don't know.
And Gold and Silver.
Dude, I have no idea what this is potentially saying about my game playing style right now. It's like I feel like I want to go through multiple Pokemon games in the span of a year. I don't think I've done that like for a very long time.
No. That's cool, man. I wish I could love Pokemon, like the games as much, like just like 10% is like and get into them as much as you can, like just 10%, you know.
Oh my god,
they're so good. They're fun to play. I just burn out on them after 20 hours or so every single time.
Well, here's the thing, Tyler. I mean, I know you and I pretty much grew up playing like different like kind of games in terms of like say how our love and appreciation for some games did this and stuff and did that. With Pokemon games, yeah, you were there like playing the bit of the original games, this and that and stuff. I did the same things as well, but the thing about me, when I played through the Pokemon games like Red, Blue, Yellow or something like that, it was pretty much during the main craze and stuff, the Pokemon games, like I was really excited for Gold and Silver when that came out. I actually went through, had to double think whether or not I wanted to play Ruby and Sapphire when those first came out. But I'll tell you what really got me into playing like just lasting Pokemon stuff was with the game I'm currently playing right now, Pokemon Diamond, because that introduced me to another layer of depth that I would not actually go through and experience again up until X and Y.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. Actually, that's kind of where I fell off with Pokemon. Like I was like you, I think, with back in the day with Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, and Gold, Silver, Crystal. Like I beat all of those. Put probably maybe not as much time, but I probably put 50 plus hours into each of them. I know Blue I put over 80 hours into because that was the one I initially finished. I beat for the first time with my Blastoise. But like Diamond is where like I don't know why, but like I played Diamond and I think I finished majority of it. I didn't finish. I played majority of it, and it just kind of fell off. But at that point in my life, I wasn't really finishing games. I worked at a game store, so we were constantly playing whatever the new game was that week. But I remember playing a good chunk of it and got into it, but I just never finished it. And that's kind of really where I fell off until X. And outside of X, I really haven't been, captured into like Pokemon Yellow. Was it last year or 2 years ago? It came out on 3DS.
It was last year, the re-release of Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow.
Yeah, and I played Pokemon Yellow. And I got all the way to the Elite Four. I just never even got to the point. I never fought them. So I mean, I put time into them. I enjoy them. For some reason now I just burn out on them a lot faster. And Sun, I played probably 15, 20 hours of Sun, and I don't know. It sucks.
Well, I kind of wonder that. Could it be like you play certain things to like extent or something with the Pokemon games where you just can't get over that hurdle where it's like, oh, okay, this is getting too repetitive. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this and do that.
Yeah, maybe. I think that could be it. I think with Sun, like the trial stuff was cool at first, but after I think I did like 3 or 4 of them, and I was just like, all right, I'm not enjoying the trials as much as I used to. And Yellow, I think I got to the point where like I barely made it to the Elite Four, and I knew I had a grind for a while to really challenge them. I think at that point I was just like, I don't really feel like grinding anymore. So,
dude, it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny, like just thinking about that because having finished Yellow recently and doing the playthrough that I did, Pikachu, the starter that I had and stuff, he was almost basically an afterthought throughout that whole playthrough that I had because it's like I purposely went through and did not pick up any Pokemon like, say, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charmander, or even Eevee, like the Pokemon that you probably would pick up during that journey because I really wanted to try out like a new style, like a new thing that I hadn't done before. So having Pokemon like Snorlax, Starmie, Exeggutor, and stuff like that was in and of itself partially the reasoning why I didn't have so much of a like grind or like a terrible time while going through the Elite Four and Champion because it's like, I mean, granted Lorelei did have her moments and I was able to actually take out her Dugong with my Pikachu that was severely under leveled, which that was in and of itself was amazing. But Dude, you should maybe you should just like look at like specific things. Oh, hey, maybe I can use this creature or that creature and stuff and build around that, and then like just use it as a playthrough. You know, it's like it's just trying something new to try to potentially go through and finish.
That's a good point. I mean, it's just kind of like, yeah, that could be. It's kind of like, it really is like Pokemon's like your Madden, where you find, like for me, like I always find cool and like the little things that make a big difference for me to keep me going.
Exactly,
and
that's what makes you and I kind of different in terms of like some of our mindsets for our gaming stuff. I mean, you are really hardcore into Madden to the extent where you just basically love football in general. You want to know the X's and O's. You want to know the different types of play styles, the sets, the different types of formations that, you know, how you can cover the receiver or try to block off the running back or whatever the hell. Like, going through how deep that is, where I'm more or less into more of a deep complexity when it comes to certain role-playing games, to where I want to know, okay, what's this type of like party that I want to develop here? Why do I like, maybe I should have this move or that move. If I go through and like capture a bunch of creatures or something like that, maybe if I breed this one and that one, I'll get a specific move and do this and do that for a competitive set. You know, it's I think we have the same mind when it comes to viewing our particular types of games, but at the same time they're completely different games, both Madden and Pokemon.
Yeah, we all have our you know our kicks. We just get it different places. But,
right.
Speaking of Pokemon, this will be a good segue, and I ruined the segue by mentioning the fact there's a segue here into the news. So this be kind of a cool thing maybe for you, and for a lot of people that plan on getting both Ultra Sun and Moon, which I assume you're going to do.
Probably.
Don't lie to me. Don't say probably.
I'm not gonna lie, man. It's like I'll probably buy both of them.
He will, people. He will. He will. He's gonna come back. He's gonna come to me when we record the podcast after, was it November 15th or 17th or whatever it is.
Yep.
He's gonna come to me the recording after. He's like, yeah. So I picked up Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna copy it. I'm gonna put it into that show. And I'm like, Gables lied. He said probably. He broke my heart.
Oh my god!
but
I think the only games that I hadn't picked up that were like together were Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and that was like months until after I had gotten Omega Ruby that I had actually bought Alpha Sapphire.
Oh yeah, forgot about that one. I picked that one up too. Actually, I remember that. I don't remember which one I got though. But anyways. The Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, they have a 2-pack, which they've done previously before. With I think X and Y had it, and I think Ruby Sapphire and Omega Ruby. No, I said those backwards.
Yes, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire.
That's right. Thank you. I can never remember which one's which. But they did this previously with like a 2-pack, and they're actually doing it again now with Ultra Sun and Moon. I think it's a little bit different where this one it's $80, so there's no real deal. Same price as you would be paying if you bought them separately. But what you get with them is you get 16 cards. I don't think they're actual Pokemon trading cards. They're just art cards. And you get 200 Pokeballs. So No? Is this a good deal?
Well,
I don't know. I don't know how cool of a thing this is.
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, I mean, the art cards, yeah, that sounds pretty fun and stuff. But in terms of the in-game stuff that you could potentially get and stuff, that's really not too much of a deal. Considering that Pokeballs only last maybe like a couple of hours into the game in and of itself.
Oh, that's a good point.
I mean, especially if you go past, like, say, the second or the third gym, you're going to be using Great Balls or even, like, Ultra Balls in some specific cases a lot, like, sooner than you would believe. So, 200 Pokeballs, yeah, they would probably last, but you probably are not going to use them until you get, like, once you get the better upgrades and stuff. Like, for example, in Pokemon Yellow or something like that, you didn't gain access to Great Balls, I would say, up until, I want to say, Celadon City, personally, which is, like, maybe, depending upon how you play the game, a normal playthrough are probably maybe 9 or 10 hours into the game, personally, maybe. Extreme case is possibly, like, around 15 or 20, but... but, in terms of this deal, I really don't like it because I could just play through the game, buy the set amount of Pokeballs that I want to get, or something like that without having to buy this bundle. I mean, the art cards sound enticing. I mean, I like the specific types of art styles for Pokemon. So
Yeah, I guess the one thing taken from this is if you're gonna get both, you might as well get this, and I guess it help you in the sense of the beginning of the game where you're not spending money on Pokeballs now.
yeah,
You can save that money and build it for potions and save it to buy other stuff later in the game. So eventually, in every Pokemon game, money becomes no option. Like you have a shit ton of
that's
money.
very true.
But at least
Especially if you don't start to spend like I do.
yeah. But I guess not for the first 5-6 hours of the game is always the most frugal about things. So that would help you give you a nice little head start in it. But I thought it was kind of a thing that I wanted to mention. I didn't know if I wanted to gauge your interest in it and see, as a Pokemon fan, where you're at with that. But moving on to our next thing, Dead Rising 4 came out last December for Xbox One. Came out in March in PC, and it seems like they got Microsoft had the Tomb Raider. How was it? The Tomb Raider game that came out last year, or 2 years ago, I forgot what it was called. But the Rise of Tomb Raider. Sorry.
There you go.
It seems like they had the same deal. I don't think anybody knew about this that they did with that, where they had a 1-year exclusive console deal, a 6-month deal before it came out on PC. With this one, with Dead Rising 4. So now it's coming out on December 5th for PS4, which is around the time it came out last year for Xbox One. Also will come with all the DLC and a couple other little packs with it. I think it's like the Capcom character pack, or you have like costumes you can wear. You can dress up like other popular Capcom characters. So just yet another exclusive loss for Xbox, for Microsoft. Just kind of feels like it just, I don't know. I don't want to turn this to another is Microsoft failing or bashing Xbox thing, but just kind of a story I wanted to mention is just, they're talking about struggling for exclusives. Dead Rising 4 was one of their biggest exclusives probably they've released in the last 12 months. If you don't, I guess Gears of War 4 came out. I said Gears of War 4 though. That's a big exclusive they've released in a while though, and it's no longer an exclusive. Won't be anyways here in a few months. So I just want to get that. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know what though? But the problem is though with Dead Rising 4 and stuff, that really didn't get like too much like good publicity in terms of like say, like in comparison to the other games in the franchise though. I mean, Dead Rising 3 I thought was like got like some good praise and stuff like that. I mean, but for Dead Rising 4, I know there was some sort of like not controversy, but there was something about it that just did not rub gamers the right way. Unfortunately, because it comes out so late in the year and stuff, like what, December 5th you said?
Yeah.
In terms of that, it's already going to be buried. I don't see it really like selling too well, to be perfectly honest, for the PS4 right after like main games that have dropped for in November. But hey, I'm glad to see that game's coming to the PS4. I mean, there are Dead Rising fans that will probably love to play this on the PS4 when it eventually does come out. So yeah, I'm happy to see more games. So
yeah, and there's Dead Rising has always had a really strong audience behind it.
Yes,
it's never been my cup of tea. I played Dead Rising 1 and I tried Dead Rising 2, just never got into it. But yeah, it came out to middling reviews, but basically it was everybody kind of agreed that if you like Dead Rising, it's more of that. It's just kind of goofier. With Dead Rising 3 tried to be a little more serious. Dead Rising 4 went back to kind of the basics that everybody loved. What everybody loved about the original 2, especially the first one, because they brought back, I think Frank is his name from the first one.
Yeah.
So I heard
Frank West.
Frank West. Yep. So, and I think he changed his name to like Frank East in this game to get away. So that's kind of, yeah. The comedy in it is pretty good. I just wish the game was better for me personally.
Frank East.
Yeah, he was trying to hide from the government, I think. Next up, we've been talking about, you guys have been talking about Sonic a lot, you and Justin, the last couple weeks. The other Sonic game that's coming out this year, Sonic Forces, has got a release date coming out November 7th. There's a couple of collector edition packs you can get. But yeah, is anybody, after Sonic Mania coming out to the praise it's got, does anybody think this game's gonna be good? Like, are hopeful for this game like they were Sonic Mania?
To be perfectly honest with you, I do not expect anything good to come out from Sonic Forces. And that's not bashing upon Sonic, like the 3D Sonic games in general.
Yeah.
Or the fans that like the Sonic 3D games and stuff. But in terms of the track record, and then also in terms of, like, what else, I've seen from it, I mean, there are some good things that could be said about, like, choosing your own, like, different type of character and stuff, creating your own, like, hedgehog character and whatsoever. I did like that one DLC thing where it looked like something from Persona 5, like Joker. But, to be perfectly honest with you, I do not see this, like performing so well when it does release. I see maybe middling reviews at best, but I think it's going to be the same issues that have plagued some other, like, 3D Sonic games, where there probably is going to be issues with the camera. There's probably some sort of technical glitches that are going to go haywire. And especially since the last major Sonic release, the Rise of Lyric, I am really not going to take a chance on another 3D Sonic game unless they've made some significant strides in order to make sure that this game is nowhere near as broken as what I've seen of Sonic Rise of Lyric.
Yeah. I think the best thing that can come out of reviews for this game is that reviewers say this game was finished.
Yeah.
That's their
basically
best
what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, because every 3D Sonic game has been a technical mess of a game. They never finished. They got bugs, glitches everywhere. They're not really good in general either. I mean, for the most, there's people that like them. Obviously, there's an audience that likes them, but for the most part, they're not good. Despite the bugs and glitches and everything, I feel like this is just a prettier version of a Boom or Adventure, or any of those really bad Wii versions that we got back in the day. So I'm bashing on a little
Sonic.
bit. Go ahead.
What was it like? The Wii games were like Sonic and the Secret Rings and like Sonic and the Black Knight and stuff, which I've heard mixed things about.
Black Knight is supposed to be terrible. Secret Rings, I remember being okay. It was like not bad for a Wii near launch title.
Right.
It was fine, but I remember the Black Knight was awful. I think there was a couple other ones they did too that were pretty bad. I don't know why they keep trying this. I think Mania. I hope they see the errors of the ways. If this game comes out and it's good, it's good and that's great. I hope that's the case. I don't want this game to be bad. Go ahead.
Here's the thing about with Sonic Mania. It had to take a hardcore fan in the modding community in order for Sega to realize, oh hey, maybe we should go through and get this guy's advice and going through and just help him go through and make a Sonic game, an actual Sonic game, because along the ways, the original maker of Sonic the Hedgehog and the original people that were behind Sonic have forgotten to make a great Sonic game.
Mm-hmm.
So partially the success for Sonic Mania is just going through what certain fans of that franchise have wanted for a long time. Since the very beginning, it's we just want another game where we could just play, sort of like how we did on the Genesis, where it's okay, we basically have the same type of crazy structure. We don't have anything that's really too outlandish or complex or something like that. We like the basic from point A, point B. There are some exploration elements inside the stages. You can get to specific ends of the stage in different ways. It's just basically feels natural, and it feels like a cohesive flow instead of going through the other forms of Sonic games where it's oh, okay, we're in a 3D world, they pretty much, in my personal opinion, I don't think that the Sonic team really does a good job in terms of how they go through and structure their 3D worlds in terms for Sonic, because there's either major camera issues that sometimes play to hilarious effect.
Mm-hmm.
There are questionable not questionable storylines, but questionable level designs, especially with games like Sonic Adventure, where it's you spend a particular amount of the game doing a fishing mini game with Big the Cat, try to fish Froggy, which those levels, if you are looking for just playing as Sonic and just going through all these crazy loops and stuff, then all of a sudden break away the immersion to play a fucking fishing game for like an entire, like, good solid, oh my gosh, what was it, like maybe a couple hours, potentially, in order to try to get to the 100% completed so you can get the actual ending to the game. I mean, those are just a few setbacks that have kept Sonic Team from actually going through and, like, declining some of the qualities up until the major point before Sonic Mania. And now, with Sonic Mania and, like, Christian Whitehead helping out, like, with his expertise on how, like, he creates certain elements of Sonic games and stuff like that. He's very masterful in what he does and how he creates certain things for that modding community that he was a part of and stuff. Like, borrowing good elements from what made the past Sonic games great, along with elaborating in different creative levels and stuff. I mean, that in and of itself kind of compiled itself into a great experience, sort of what Sonic Mania ended up becoming right now. I mean, there aren't all positive stuff. I mean, the PC version of Sonic Mania is suffering for some DRM issues right at the moment, which gamers have on Steam have just incredibly, like, tried to downvote, like, Sonic Mania because of that extent. And Sega, to their credit, is looking into it, trying to take away the online stuff. So basically, what that was all about is basically you can't play this game offline, even though this is a game that's supposed to be played offline. You can only play it online on the Steam version, which, that is stupid. It's an anti-piracy issue from, like, what, oh god, this is the same anti-piracy, like, software that was used for some other games, like Rime and stuff. But it's been having its issues. Like, for example, with Rime, it really manipulated frame rate stuff, you know, in terms of making it lower than what it should be. I think it's called Denuvo or something like that. I'm trying to really think back here. But anyway, tying into what I'm talking about right now, it's like Sonic Forces in and of itself, I really hope does well for what it aims to be. But from what I've seen previously over the past 10 years of Sonic games, it does not lead me to believe this will end well.
Yeah, they have not built any good fortune at all. Sonic Mania is the only good fortune really they've built in the last 20 years, and that was made by people that are just fans of the franchise. The only good, really universally praised Sonic game has been made by people that made Sonic shit for fun.
So you could say their own fans make better Sonic games than Sonic Team themselves.
Yeah, that's just asinine. It's funny because for a game that's built on going fast and speed, they have been chasing Mario for 20 years. Like,
exactly.
That's why they went to 3D and they failed time after time after time. They just keep doing it, and they change, trying to do minor things. Sonic Boom was like a collage of, like, Sonic going fast, shooter, RPG, story game. Like, it's just trying to be everything, and it doesn't work. Like, they don't work. So, like I was saying, I hope this game is good. I obviously don't want it to be. I don't want any game to be bad. I hope they're all good. You know, especially for fans, other franchises. You know, Sonic fans have been suffering for a long time.
Exactly.
And they finally got something good, and I hope they get 2 in a row. I hope they get 2 in just a few months. So November 7th, Sonic Forces is out. I hope it's good, or at least middling good, like 7s, you know.
Exactly.
And finish. That's the key thing. Finish. We'll get there first. Then maybe we'll get a good game out of it. But next up, I'm gonna go through these real quick. But the PlayStation Plus and Xbox games with gold have been announced for the month of September. So these come out, I think, for PS Plus, they come out Tuesday. For Xbox, some of these are out now. Some of them come out middle of the month. But for PlayStation Plus, you get this Tuesday, you get Infamous Second Son, which came out a few months, like I think 3 or 4 months after the PS4 came out. Okay, open world game with some cool powers. Actually, I was telling Gables and Tyler for the show. Actually, 100% of that game. So I guess I really liked it back in the day. Next up, Strike Vector GX, which is kind of like a flying simulator where you get you fight other not ships, but plane pilot. You pilot a ship. Or God damn it, You're a pilot of a jet, and you get into you just have dogfights with other planes. There you go. Got through that one with no issues whatsoever. Next up, a game called We Are Doomed. It's coming out for Vita, but also has cross-buy, so you get it on PS4 and Vita. I honestly don't know what that game is, but you get that. And then Hateful Boyfriend.
I call it Howtiful Boyfriend.
Howtiful? I don't know how you say that, but it's coming out Tuesday for Vita and PS4. Howtiful. The cuttlefish. Oh, that's just racist. I'm sorry.
Oh, Tyler.
God damn it. Sorry. But
and there goes our Japanese listeners.
Yep. Well, Korean. We got as long as we have Korea, we're still good. We're always number one in Korea.
Wouldn't that be kind of funny that they're just using us like for just to try to pinpoint where they want to freaking try to aim their freaking missiles or something?
Hopefully
use our podcast.
Oh boy.
Your point.
I hope that's not the case, but
I know.
Boy.
Oh my god.
But we love you, North Korea. Don't bomb us, please. Aim. I was gonna say north, but I like Canada. Aim.
Aim low. So low that you can
just aim straight up.
Anyway.
Aim straight up. Actually, you know what? You're number one downloads every month. So don't aim up. I don't want you to bomb yourself. Just be cool. Listen to this podcast. Chill out. I've Oktoberfest. It's delicious. But yeah, go Korea. Number one in downloads, and we're also number one in penis size. They have big penises. So North Korea, don't bomb us. But anyways,
okay, to try to get off the rails.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't know what's going on anymore. Don't bomb us, please. Hateful Boyfriend is out for Vita and PS4 this Tuesday. And Gables was explaining to me before the show, it is a dating simulator, but you play as a pigeon.
Yep.
So that sounds absolutely amazing. Expect me to be talking about that again during Game of the Year time, because I am downloading that immediately, and I am putting everything off to the side. I'll call on the work if I have to on Tuesday. I don't fucking care. I'm playing this game. This game sounds amazing. It sounds so good. First, I gotta figure out how to pronounce it. Then I'm gonna play it. Oh boy. Oh fuck it. Anyways, don't bomb us, Korea. Xbox games for September. From September 1st to the I hate how Xbox does it. It makes sense business wise, but I hate how they do it. What they do, they break it up every 2 weeks. They even do shit. But for the entire month, September 1st through the 30th, you get Forza 5, Motorsports, which I think came out, was that 2 years ago? No, that was a launch title, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
7 comes out, and then it comes out every other year. Yeah, that's the launch title.
Because they're on Motorsports 7.
Yeah, and then we get the Horizon in between there. So yeah, this is a launch title. That's out. You get that. You can download that now for free if you have Xbox Games with Gold or Xbox Live, whatever it's called. And then on September 16th through October 15th, you can get, Oxenfree, which is a really cool game. I think everybody should check out. I talked about it a lot last year. It was my runner-up for my honorable mentions. It was top, so I think it was like 13th or 14th for my game of the year last year. People that make the Walking Dead, Telltale Walking Dead games, made this game. So I can't remember. Skybound is the name of the company. Really cool game. I think more people should check out. But that's available on the 16th of September. And then for the backwards compatible games, Hydro Thunder is out for right now, September 1st through the 15th. So if you have an Xbox One or 360, you can get this game for free. And on the 16th of September through the 30th, you can get Battlefield 3. So actually, that's actually a pretty cool game. I don't know if the online is still up. I assume it is, but actually, not a bad campaign. I don't know. It's been like 6 years since it came out, but it was a fun campaign back in the day. But those are out now, or not. Some of those are out now. Some will be out soon. So check those out. Especially Hateful Boyfriend. Once again, don't bomb us, Korea. You have huge penises. Who you can show them off to if you bomb us, you know what I mean? Trump has a very small penis. That's why he's so angry all the time. Oh, shit. Oh, boy. Oh, I said it. Oh, God. We got political on the podcast. I didn't mean to do that. I apologize. Not to Trump, though. It's true. Moving on over to something else. This is a hard segue here because this is going to get really sad here. Not really sad, but sad. Kind of cool, but sad. So Shadow of War is the Lord of the Rings game that's coming out, I believe, November 7th as well. That's the same day as Sonic Forces. They have a kind of a cool thing they're doing. They had their executive producer last year pass away. Michael Forgey is how I believe you say his last name, of cancer at the age of 43. So as a way to kind of honor his memory and also make build funds for his wife and 3 children that he's left behind, they're releasing a DLC character called Forthog. I'm not sure how you say it. Orc Slayer. He is actually they named him after the band he was in. He was in a guitar. He played guitar in a band for Monolith, and they're naming this character after him, and it's based off of him. And the character has a weaponized guitar that he uses to melee, and I guess he'll show up randomly, and he'll one-hit kill certain orcs that you're fighting at the time. Wow. Yeah, so kind of a cool little character they're releasing. He is. It's gonna be $5 for the DLC, and $350 of it goes to the family, like I mentioned. The reason it's $350 is because that's the money they get after Microsoft or after Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam takes their cut of it. So basically, everything they're getting from this DLC will go directly to the family. They did a fundraiser, I think, last year around the time he passed away, and they raised about $130,000 for the family.
Wow.
A lot of money, but obviously not nearly enough to continue to raise 3 children on their own. So a really cool thing I wanted to bring up that I hope more people do it, that jump into this. I have bought, right now, currently, you can pre-buy this DLC on Steam and Xbox, and the PS4 will have it once the game comes out in November. I purchased the Xbox DLC already. I don't plan on getting this game at all. Maybe down the line sometime, but I'll probably get on PS4. But it's a really cool thing that I want to support, and I want more people. I think more people should support, and I just want to bring that up on here. If you want to do something really cool and help out Michael's family, this is a really cool way to do it. A great way to do it. And if you are interested at all in Shadow of War, it's $5. Just do it, and you get a benefit of a really badass character that has a guitar as also a weapon. So yeah, I wanted to mention that before we head out of here. I say that for last because there's really no good way to get out of that. But yeah, unless Gables, you have anything else you want to talk about?
Not currently.
Okay. Well, then I think that might do it for the show this week. I want to thank you guys so much for listening. If you want to hear more from us, we're on Facebook. We have a page and group. It has Drunk Dash Nerds on there. So like and join us on there. On YouTube, we're at Drunk Nerds Podcast. Subscribe to us on there. And we also release the podcast on there. So like that. Like I said, subscribe. Tell a friend. If you're not a YouTube guy, we're on iTunes. Check us out on there. Subscribe there. Leave us a 5-star review and a comment, and comment saying how nice we are and how cool Gables is and how Korea should not bomb us. They see that, and we would greatly appreciate it. And then also, the Korea thing threw me off completely. But on Twitter, we were at Drunk Nerds Pod. So follow us on there. Facebook, iTunes, or Facebook and Twitter are 2 really good places to go. I post the links to the show. And those are kind of the first 2 places I go when the show goes up to inform people the shows are out there. And also on Twitch, we're Drunk Nerds Podcast. Follow us on there. Send us friend requests. We like having friends. Friends are good. Friends are cool. We're friends. I consider you friends. Gables and I are friends. We're going to go have Denny's after this. That's how good friends we are. We live 2,000 miles away from each other. We're going to go meet in the middle. I think we're going to meet in Montana. Fuck it. I don't know if they have Denny's. We're going to go there. And we're going to have ourselves... You know what? Korea, if you want to bomb somebody, bomb Montana. We won't miss it.
Come on.
Sorry. There's like 6 people live there. Phil Jackson's like the most important person in there.
Phil Jackson.
We're good. You're fine.
Most of his success with the Chicago Bulls happened in Montana.
He was a bad GM for the Knicks. I mean, he was a president, whatever. But anyways, yeah. Wait till after we leave, after we get Denny's, and then you can do whatever the hell you want with Montana. It's pretty cool. Save the dogs, though. Dogs are important. But yeah, that is the show. Also, actually, before we head out here, I wanted to mention episode 25. I want to mention the top show. I want to mention it again. Comes out this Thursday. Really cool episode. It's actually the first time ever that Gables and I recorded a podcast, just the two of us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we can make it, you and I. Just the two of us, making castles way up high. Sorry. Yeah. Anyways, check it out on Thursday, and we'll be back next week with a brand new show. I was your host as always. I was Tyler,
and I have been Colonel Gables. So until next week, everyone, have fun. Definitely stay safe over the Labor Day weekend, and of course, game on.
I don't have a catchy go out thing. I need to come up with something. I can't say GG anymore.
It should be, man, it's better than Metal Gear.
Fuck you! Ugh. Oh, it hurts. I got like a sharp pain in my testicles when he said that. Oh.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, guys. Excuse me. Few too many beers there. Anyways, we're on iTunes now, so go on there, check us out, and if you like us, leave us a review, and we'll even shout you out. And Jack will send you his credit card number.